Ba, 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 ba. Ladies and gentlemen, Damen und Herren, welcome to Germany on a Saturday afternoon, and that means just one thing. This is the time for Dritte Liga. It's the third tier of German football, and today we're at the Audi Sport Park in Bavaria for FC Ingolstadt, lying in 5th place currently in the table against 1860 München. Founding members of the Bundesliga, of course, but right now, how the mighty have fallen. They lie absolutely at the foot of the table, right at the bottom, in 20th place. They've lost every single game, all three, so far this season, whereas Ingolstadt are at a win-loss-win record. Let's go through the lineups for you. Number one in goal for Ingolstadt, Marius Funk. Then across the back, we've got Marcel Kostley, Ryan Malone, Mladen Svenovic, Mark Nicholas Duchring, David Kopacz, Lucas Frode, Max Plath, Benjamin Kanarich, Sebastian Gröning, the Dane, and Dennis Borkowski up front. And the visitors today, 1860 München, are looking for their first win of the season. This has been a terrible start for their coach, Argyris Giannikis, from Greece, of course, who took over in January this year. Today his lineup is in goal, René Volath, and across the back we've got Leroy Quadwo, Raphael Schifferl, Jesper Verlat, Lucas Reich, and in midfield, David Philipp, Marlon Frey, Thore Jakobsen, and we've got Tune Dennett. We've also got up front, of course, Schubert, who is the man we're looking at, Fabian Schubert, with Maximilian Wolfram on the left wing, who'll be hoping to provide some assists for him today. It's been a relatively high-scoring start to the Dritte Liga season, and today we are looking at a whole raft of matches as we see Aachen against Aue also kicking off around now. Bielefeld against Sandhausen. We've got our game, Ingolstadt against 1860 München. Dynamo Dresden against Stuttgart has already kicked off. They're 0-0 after 1 minute. It's Mannheim against Saarbrücken, and Dortmund against Osnabrück is the late game. At the moment, top of the league, and out in front are Victoria Köln. They're top of the league, but they have played 4 because they played their game last night and they beat Hansa Rostock 3-0 yesterday evening. But only Erzgebirge Aue have a 100% record. They've played 3, won 3, and as I mentioned just now, they are away at Aachen this afternoon. But we are in Bavaria at the Audi Sport Park, and we are just a couple of minutes away from kickoff as we see Sabrina Wittmann as FC Ingolstadt, currently lying, as I said, in 5th place in the league. She's had a fabulous start to her coaching career in Bavaria. She signed as the coach, the full-time coach, and the top of the tree from the coaching staff on the 2nd of May this year. And after a brilliant end to last season, she was given the job full-time. FC Ingolstadt are, of course, former Bundesliga champions themselves in League 2 in the second Bundesliga back in 2015, but then a couple of seasons in the top rank for them before they fell down. Felix Bickel from Wolfsburg is our referee, with Marco Scharf and Julian Bergman assisting him on the lines. Here at the Audi Sport Park, it is almost full with a capacity of 15,800 people. And on the screens right now, you can see the casual attire of our Greek-German Argyris Giannikis. Here we go then. This is a terribly important game for 1860 München. It has been a disastrous start to this season, and looking possibly, if it is possible, even more casual than Argyris Giannikis is Sabrina Wittmann, famous as a player, of course, and now making her way, and not just making her way, but forging a way for females in the game in the Dritte Liga in Germany. It's the 17th season of the third tier of German football, and Sabrina Wittmann is the first female coach, as I'm sure you will have heard 100 times before this season already, in the top 3 German leagues. Here we go then, Ingolstadt against 1860 München, and we are almost ready to go. Referee Felix Bickel is about to blow his whistle, start his stopwatch, and off we go. First attack then is, as you might expect, from FC Ingolstadt. They're in the red and black stripes on the front with the black rear to their jerseys. And in their away kit for this season, 1860 München, a sort of creamy blue number. Teams like to have a little bit of fun with their away kits, and these days, as I'm sure any of you who have football fan children will be aware, teams like to have at least 5 different strips for you to buy at their club shop. Throw into Ingolstadt then on the right hand side. And we have the long throw expert, number 16 on your screen right now, who is Ryan Malone, the American. Launches it into the centre, but they're on a fantastic run of form. You'll be unsurprised to hear that it is Ingolstadt who are the favourites for today's game. Strong favourites, actually. But certainly the football-going experts around the world don't expect this to be a high-scoring game. We, of course, hope that it will be. A decent cross-field ball and a nice idea of an initial volleyed cross from the left-hand side for München. In the end, the shot taken by Fabian Schubert and saved. Out for a corner then, and the first corner of the game for München. Marlon Frey finds himself on the left wing, and a real chance here for München. Great goalkeeping, super goalkeeping from Marius Funk. He hasn't managed to get the ball away too far though, and it is still Munich who are on the attack. A good little spell this for Munich, a confidence building spell, and something that they've been short of this season so far. It's a record that they are not proud of, and not one that historically they want to extend. Here comes the number 8 then. And a wonderful goal. Oh my goodness, what a goal. Very early in the game, and it's Munich who take the lead. 1860 Munich take the lead with a fabulous shot from close to the outside of the area. Brilliant goal, and you can see over the moon is Argyris Giannikis. Super goal for 1860 München, and as you may or may not expect, it is that man Max Wolfram who scores his first goal of the season. That's really what they needed, Munich, after the start that they've had and the fixtures that they've had, of course, as well. Don't forget, they have already been beaten by Victoria Colin, and this will now mean that Ingolstadt have to come out a little bit more as well. A defensive error there, right at the top of the box, and Max Wolfram has taken full advantage of it, the number 30. And Wolfram puts Munich ahead. Unexpected, that's for sure. And a little bit against the run of play, I suppose. But in that last 5 minutes, just before the goal, the German Max Wolfram and his side were beginning to exert some authority. Now, their position at the bottom of the table is a little bit deceiving. They haven't been that bad this season. They've had some tough fixtures. And on top of that, at this early stage, it would be a ridiculous thing to do to make too much of the fact that they are pointless after these 3 games. A great start to this game, though, for them, with that first goal, meaning that it's now up to Ingolstadt to come forward here at the Audi Sport Park. At home, of course, with München the visitors and München the leaders as well. Back then to Marius Funk, the Ingolstadt goalkeeper. Central defence today. We're looking at a combination of Ryan Malone and Mladen Cvetinovic. Bosnian and American partnership in central defence as Ingolstadt attempt to make their next attack count. A quick throw-in taken. And a foul on the right-hand side by the goal scorer, Wolfman. As always, protesting his innocence. And I think Felix Bickel, the referee, is considering a card, but it's so early in the game. Referees are loath to do so. They want to keep the game flowing. And Felix Bickel has had a little word with the goal scorer, Max Wolfram. The game will continue. No cards yet, but 1 goal. 1-0 then to Munich with a free kick right on the touchline. 5 Ingolstadt players in the box. Benjamin Kanaric will swing it in with his right foot. And it's well dealt with by Munich, actually. They packed the box close to the line. Pretty easy job for their goalkeeper. That's very well recovered indeed by Lucas Fröder. And a left foot shot. Saved by René Volath. Volath is 34 years old, the German. Be looking to approach the twilight of his career if he weren't in goal. But he's still the first choice for Argyris Giannikis. And a second corner in quick succession, along with that free kick from the sidelines. Decent opportunity, very decent opportunity indeed for Ingolstadt to equalise then. That was the defender, Mladen Cvetinovic, who came up from defence for the corner. A good delivery and a swinging left footer. And it's going to be another attacking set piece from Ingolstadt. That long throw again. And a volley, or an attempted half volley rather, from Kanaric. Comes to nothing. The Austrian was having a go, and we see this more and more in German football, and football around the world actually. The bouncing, nobody's quite sure where it started. The turning away from the pitch and the bouncing. Munich fans not turning away, but bouncing nonetheless. Memories of Euro 2024, of course. And those away fans have been through so much in the past few years. Not only the yo-yoing and seesawing of the Munich fortunes, but also the near bankruptcy of the club, near folding of the club before they shared the stadium, controversially, with their more famous, one might say, more illustrious neighbours, Bayern Munich, for a while. Now, though, they're in Bavaria and they're away at the Audi Sport Park, and they're leading 2 against Ingolstadt. Patient build-up from Munich. Instantly recognisable is Jasper Verlat with his mop of blonde locks. And he retreats now to take up his defensive position as the ball flies back out to Leroy Quadro. Quadro starts this move, but they're not really going anywhere, Munich. And apart from that long-range effort, which ended up in the back of the goal, theirs has been either patient or inconsistent or frustrating, depending on how you might look at it. Their play. At the moment, they're trying to build from the back again. And they're doing so with the midfielder, Tore Jakobsen. Slightly more incisive, but in the end, dealt with pretty easily by the American Ryan Malone. Number 5, Tore Jakobsen, is a German national actually, although his name sounds Scandinavian. We do have Sebastian Gröning, who's a top scorer for Ingolstadt this season. He's a Dane. And one might think that Tore Jakobsen would be from the same part of the world, but in fact not. Another chance here for Munich, and that was Jasper Verlat. A very close range effort, and I think he will believe he could have done a lot better with that. No doubt we'll see a replay in just a second. But first of all, let's go back to Ingolstadt, coming forward through Mark-Nicholas During. Back across the back with Kvajetinovic, Ryan Malone, and out to Marcel Kostli. It's difficult times this for Ingolstadt. They are struggling at the back, and in the end, it has been a cynical foul. But it has stopped the attack, which is what it was aimed to do. So, let's have another look at this. Yeah, it's a late challenge, isn't it? From the Ingolstadt midfielder, Max Plath. That late challenge, rightly penalised. And now he'll be standing too close, trying to push the free kick back. The referee, Felix Bickel, takes him the correct 10 yards. And it's a chance for Munich to get another attack. Here we go then. Munich putting the ball into the box, and in the end it's coming to nothing. Another foul though on the edge of the area, and I sense that Ingolstadt are getting slightly frustrated. And it's that man, Plath, who's standing close, but the actual foul this time was committed by the number 29, David Kopacz, the midfielder. And Kopacz has given away a free kick in a very dangerous area here, especially when you consider the right-footed Tune Denitz. That's the number 36, and with him is Tore Jakobsen. But it's obviously going to be Denitz who takes it. 6 München players in the box, and it's crossed in low but doesn't pass the first man, and a little bit of a waste. Here come Munich again though. The ball is remaining in the Ingolstadt end of the field, and Wolfman, the goal scorer, has forced a corner. Let's have a look at how this one ends up then. Max Wolfman will be taking it. I beg your pardon, Tune Denitz will be taking it. He's the man who just took that free kick, and it's an out-swinging corner with Verlat in the middle, but it comes to nothing. Ingolstadt though, well, that is acrobatic to say the least from Tore Jakobsen. Impressive as well in terms of the end result. That ends up with Tune Denitz, who wastes his opportunity to get the ball into the box, and that could have been a handball for me. Let's have a look. And then a foul in the favour of Ingolstadt. Let's see what the referee wants to have a look at here. Yeah, that's a clear foul, but there's nothing too nasty about it from Leroy Quadwo. So a cynical foul, but not a dangerous one, and it's just a free kick. Everything calms down for a little while. We've had Munich in and around the Ingolstadt box now for a great majority of the 17 minutes. The game started off with Ingolstadt in the ascendancy. That's almost a fabulous crossfield ball from Ingolstadt. And now on the floor, we've got Quadvo. But the teams, of course, are not required to stop the game. And the referee's not required to stop the game unless it's a head injury. But Felix Bickel may need to just get involved a little here to calm everybody down. This game has already seen some relatively controversial moments, I would say, and the heat is building, the tension's building. There's no particular grudge between these two teams, not as far as I'm aware anyway. But Felix Bickel is talking to the captains, or certainly to the captain of Munich, and trying to make sure that everybody calms down a little bit. That's Marcel Kostli. That, of course, was not given as a foul on Leroy Quadwo. Let's just hope everything stays calm here for the next few minutes, and we can just carry on enjoying what has so far been a pretty good game, I must say. Free kick then, in from Ingolstadt into the box, and ends up going right through. The delivery wasn't bad, but the positioning of the attacking players from Ingolstadt, not quite there. Once again, it's Jasper Verlat, the captain, who made the difference. And he, apart from the goal scorer, of course, has been the player that I've spoken about the most so far, I believe. There he is again, in the centre of the area. A corner for Ingolstadt, and it comes back out, and a volleyed shot goes left of the area of the upright. But it was certainly worth a go. Here's a replay of that left-footed out-swinging corner. And a good half volley. In the end, it didn't go straight over. There was a slight deflection on the way through, but it was from another Ingolstadt player. And so despite the pretty good effort from Ingolstadt and from David Kopacz, it has gone for a goal kick, and it's René Volath who will aim the ball left, and that's a dreadful free kick. A mistake that a professional goalkeeper shouldn't be making, straight into touch from a goal kick. It is a throw-in to Ingolstadt. They go back with it to their keeper, Marius Funk, and let's see if he can do slightly better than René Volath did. He goes short, ball coming out to Mark Littlus during. And back inside for Ingolstadt. Again, patient build-up from the Bavarians. Attacking now down the right-hand side, but there's no way in there. A good press from Munich, and a press that has worked so far, both high up the pitch and in the defensive areas. Ingolstadt are being hurried. Max Plath does manage to get the ball away, and now it's Kopacz into the area, but once again his cross evades all of his Ingolstadt teammates. We're used to seeing Janikis pacing the touchline, and he's doing so again. He's got a determined look on his face, as if he had something very particular to go and do, as we have another look at that fabulous goal. Super goal from Max Wolfram, the only goal in the game so far. We are 21 minutes gone, so nearly halfway through the first half. And Max Wolfram gave Munich the lead. And you can see the joy and the relief as well on the faces of him and his teammates. That goal came with only 5 minutes gone, and it came against the run of play, but since then Munich have definitely been the team on top. And that is truly dreadful from Sebastian Gröning. Absolutely no excuse to miss a header there when he was trying to lay it back for a teammate. I dare say he'll pretend, or try to pretend, that it was a bluff, that he was leaving it on purpose, but I don't think that's the case. Sorry about that. I simply don't believe you, old boy. Ingolstadt coming into a little bit of possession. I think they were rocked and shocked by that goal from Wolfman in the 5th minute. It was David Philipp who had the assist, but the assist really wasn't much to talk about. What was really to talk about, and what we will be talking about, and certainly the highlights will show, is that fabulous volley. Ingolstadt then with an opportunity to make a difference. Another corner that comes to nothing. But some good tenacity from Mark Nicholas Düring. And of course the Ingolstadt players and fans will be appealing for a penalty there, but it didn't look much in it to me. It's Quadro on the floor again. That's the second time in the last few minutes that Quadro's been on the floor. The first time a foul wasn't given, and the second time a foul wasn't given as well. And I think Felix Bicker will be saying to him now, just watch yourself. Simulation is a thing in this game. I'm not saying, by the way, that he was simulated. He could easily have gone over there. Yeah, it looks to be a little bit of a right hand on his left shoulder from Mladen Kcenitovic. Back then to René Volath, who once again tries that left-footed clearance, and once again it comes to nothing. Not the goalkeeper's fault on this occasion, though. The game has calmed down a little. We had a 5-minute period a little while ago where everything was just a little bit heightened. The Ingolstadt fans, you can hear, are not the ones, and see, they're not the ones making the noise. It is the 1860 Munich fans. That's good play from Quadro, that. The final ball, though, way below what he would expect, and makes it easy for Marius Funk to clear. Ingolstadt, though, continue to attack. That certainly looked offside to me, but the assistant will keep his flag down until the play comes to an end. Nothing given either way, but nothing came from it. Halfway through the first half, and let me keep you posted with what else is going on in the league. We've got Aachen, who are leading. They are leading at the moment. At home, Aachen leading. The only team to have a 100% record in Dritte Liga, that is Erzgebirge Aue. And it is 1-0 to Aachen at home. It's still 0-0 between Bielefeld and Sandhausen. 1-0 here, of course. München leading Ingolstadt. Dynamo Dresden are 1-0 up against Stuttgart, and Mannheim, and Saarbrücken is still goalless as Ingolstadt look to start again, and they have increased the tempo and increased the speed of their passing. There's no doubt about that. It's a lovely little ball inside. And Sebastian Gröning, the top scorer for Ingolstadt, just couldn't get on the end of it, but it was a very, very good attempt from Benjamin Kanaric of an insightful and a cutting ball from the left of midfield, slightly inside into the left portion of the Munich area. A corner. Another one for Ingolstadt. And a very hopeful long-range shot. Ingolstadt going all the way back to their goalkeeper, Marius Funk, and they'll start again from there. That's a foolish free kick to give away from Ingolstadt when they were in a promising position. The goal kick actually or the clearance from the goalkeeper from Marius Funk would look like it was going straight out. But I think they could have been a little bit cleverer there, a little bit more canny, a little bit more streetwise. And could quite possibly have got a corner had they played it slightly differently. They didn't, and it's going to be a goal kick, and it's René Volath, who, if anything is to go by in the last few minutes, will be going left and long. A drinks break, as we're in the summer, and a chance for Argyris Giannikis to get his team together and just get across a few little ideas. Sabrina Wittmann gets the same chance, of course, and she's pretty animated. I wonder what she's thinking about the way that the team have attacked so far. It's been pretty docile. The cutting edge has not been there for Ingolstadt, certainly not what we've been used to. And the Greek Giannikis giving some up-to-date instructions for Munich. And you can see they're a much more animated, more fired-up team at the moment, Munich, than Ingolstadt. I think Sabrina Wittmann needs to do some motivational talking at half-time and really get her boys riled up, because at the moment it's all a little bit too sedate. The last words from Sabrina Wittmann have gone to the right-back Marcel Kostli, as she's being spoken to as well by the referee's assistant. And she should care less. Can't be easy being Sabrina Wittmann with the cameras on you the whole time and the focus of world football. But she is an inspiration to many of us, not just females around the world, but to football fans around the world as well. She takes up the Marcelo Bielsa position of sitting on the water bottles. Munich have the ball again in the final third, and Munich able to attack after a slightly scrappy opening. The ball out to the right for Munich with Lucas Reich, who's advanced from his right back position, and here's a foul against the captain Jesper Verlat. And the first yellow card of the game goes to the Munich captain. Jesper Verlat takes that. Rightly so. It was a high leg and a hanging leg. Can't quite tell if it caught the knee or the ankle, actually, of Sebastian Gröning. But that is a yellow card for the Munich captain, Jesper Verlat. The free kick inside their own half, taken by Ingolstadt. And there's been an awful lot of lateral and backwards passing from the Bavarians. There's a slight tension building, a slight impatience building in the stadium. And the longer this goes on at this scoreline, that impatience will start to build. There comes an expectation when you play the bottom club, a club who hasn't even got a single point yet this season, that you will walk away with victory without trying too hard. But with the lack of incisive passing, and that exchange there is a great example of the low speed that Ingolstadt have been playing at the back. When they come forward a little bit, the speed does increase, but there's definitely more intensity behind what Munich are doing. A chance now, though, for Munich to counter-attack. Scrappy and Ingolstadt get the ball back. Some nice skill on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, sorry, from David Philipp. But a free kick given against Ingolstadt. Lucas Fröder is the man penalised, and quite how he's protesting that foul, I have absolutely no idea. He had hold of the leg, kept hold of the leg, and presumably forgot that it was football he was playing and not rugby. It would have been a good rugby tackle, but on the football pitch it has no place. Free kick then, and Munich come forward through Quado again, attempting an exchange right on the edge of the box. It didn't come off, and they come forward again with their captain Valat. And it's Tecci again, isn't it? It's getting Tecci again here as Lucas Fröder commits a foul. Not too dangerous an area, but far enough forward that Ingolstadt will have to think very carefully about how they're going to defend this. Those familiar strains of Allez, Allez, Allez coming from the stands. A lot of people think that was a song invented by fans of Anfield, of Liverpool Football Club, but in fact it came from a lower division side in Scotland, stolen by the Liverpool fans but used and made famous by them. Here we go then, another throw in on the right hand side for Munich, and Ingolstadt are shaken, rocked and shaken so far. Munich have had a very good first half an hour. Second yellow card of the game. Felix Bickel was in absolutely no doubt about that one. And Munich need to watch out just a little bit, not a lot yet, but they already have their captain in the book. And now it's Marlon Frey who goes in there as well. So 2 yellow cards in the game, and they've both gone to Munich. Ingolstadt again looking backwards first. That's not going to encourage Sabrina Whitman very much as she's on the sidelines, but this might. No, it's been called back, and another foul. This is a Tecci punctuated game. There's no flow has been allowed yet. There are too many little niggles again and again, and very often it's Leroy Quadro who is on the end of them. That's the 3rd time or 4th time he's gone down in just the last few minutes. Let's have a look at it again here. Yeah, that was a trip, no doubt about that. His left foot didn't have to come off the ground, he could have just gone down. But Sebastian Gröning penalised again. Gröning needs to watch out. That's 2 fouls in the last few minutes. I would say the 3rd one will get him a yellow card as well. Ingolstadt attempting again to come forward and it coming to nothing. Misplaced passes and misplaced crosses and set pieces for them has been the story of this half. Plenty for Sabrina Wittmann to talk about at the half-time break, which will come in 10 minutes or so. Here we go then, coming forward once again. This time it's Ingolstadt, and they've been attacking down both flanks. Here we see that was Ryan Malone who came down that time, but it's again another foul, and it's Marlon Frey who's on a yellow card himself, clutching his back. Frey is up and seems to be okay. Looks pretty innocuous to me, that challenge, but Ryan Malone, who had made that foray forwards from the central defensive position up the left wing, up the left flank, and the only thing he could do at that particular moment was to foul Marlon Frey, according to Felix Bickel, the referee. Wittmann is in a pensive mood, and Volath once again goes right to left from a free kick this time, as Munich look to attack and Ingolstadt are looking to counter. It's 3-on-4 in the defensive side's favour. That little attack came to nothing once again. They build from the halfway line. It's Mark Nicholas During who gets the ball forward to Benjamin Kanaric. And yet another foul and another yellow card. That's the 3rd yellow card for Munich. They don't seem to have been particularly aggressive to me. But a third yellow card, this one for David Phillips. So 3 yellow cards at the moment for Munich. They're obviously buoyed up for this game. They're obviously feeling it. They obviously know and motivated that this is a terribly important game historically for them. Were they to lose again today, it would be the worst record in the club's history. And that's a record that nobody wants to have. Foul for Ingolstadt. Free kick coming for them. Costly stays back in case of a counter. But it's Kanaric who stands to one side and lets Düring have a go. But as with every single cross and attack from Ingolstadt so far in this game, that has gone nowhere. Long range effort going past the post for Ingolstadt, coming in from David Kopacz. It was a decent little no-look pass actually from Kanaric, or Denis Bukovski I should say. Nearly 38 minutes gone. And Munich again have the ball in the centre circle, but their 3 attackers can't really get anywhere near it. They go down again. This time it's Gröning. And Felix Bickel's going to have a look. Let's see what happened. Gröning's holding his face. If it is a head injury, of course Felix Bickel is obliged to stop the game. Schubert it was on the ground. And he's fine. No need to stop the game. We can continue. And we're going to continue with a drop ball, as there was no foul deemed by Felix Bickel. Just over 6 minutes to go until half-time. The coaches, Argyris Giannikis and Sabrina Whitman, will be preparing what they have to say at half-time. And Ingolstadt need to get away from this area. They've been here far too much in this first half. After the first 5 minutes, when they were on top, they started by far the stronger. Munich started like a team short on confidence and short on results, which is exactly what they are, of course. I don't expect the same Ingolstadt team to come out in the second half. Sabrina Whitman, will she make changes as early as half-time? We've seen a trend this season in European football of coaches making substitutions slightly earlier. The last few years, it's always been around 60 minutes. A sort of accepted time when the first substitutions can be made. But there are substitutions across the leagues in the Big Five countries have been made earlier this season than they have in the last few years. Will Sabrina Whitman have someone on her bench who she believes can make the difference? On her bench is Tim Heiker, Max Dittgen, Yannick Deichmann, Moritz Seffert, Luca Lechner, Pascal de Street, Dennis Zettler, Simon Simoni, as we see another Ingolstadt attack come to nothing, and Felix Kadel. I don't know whether Wittmann will have the confidence in any of those to be able to change this game, but something needs to happen. That's a clear foul. That's a foolish foul as well from Munich, because Lucas Fröder was going backwards, so there was no need at all to make that foul. And Ingolstadt go backwards again with the free kick. The forward momentum is lost very, very quickly by Ingolstadt. Now, it may be that Wittmann is playing that patient game, the slow build-up. Here comes a better speed of a cross, and that wasn't too far away from reaching Sebastian Gröning, top scorer for Ingolstadt this season so far. But Schiffel made the interception, and in fact Gröning was offside anyway. But that was better from Ingolstadt, and that would have been close, very close indeed actually. No rush from Munich to take this free kick. And with 3 minutes left of the half, they will want to take this single goal cushion into the dressing room and hear what their coach Argyris Giannikis has to say. So at the moment, René Volath taking it nice and easy. It's Ingolstadt who want that pep, that last little bit of encouragement at the end of this first half. I think Sabrina Wittmann, although she won't be happy with being 1-0 down at half-time, as we see Munich stray offside through Schubert on this occasion. Wittmann won't be happy with the scoreline, of course. A losing first half, but she'll be pleased that it's only 1-0. Another excellent acrobatic piece of work from Munich, this time from Raphael Schiffel. And we're seeing a lot of complaining from the Ingolstadt players to Felix Bickel. Lucas Freude has been the deliverer of much of that. Marcel Kostli is a good player, the German, and he's been quietly getting on with his job. He's been trying to progress the ball much more forward, as he has done with this throw-in, but some poor control and some poor last pass and last cross, or last part of the attacks from Ingolstadt has been their downfall so far. Into the corner, as you might expect from Munich, but they don't get the corner that they were aiming for. On the floor goes Marcel Kostli, and the throw-in goes the other way. One last chance then, maybe, for Munich. And Wolfram to take a long throw. A real focus in the last 6 or 7 years on throw-ins. That is an enormous throw that Wolfram has on him, isn't he? He didn't even look to be trying that hard. It didn't come to anything, but we could see what it's capable of. Volath again goes left to right. There's no mystery in what René Volath is going to do when he clears the ball, whether it's from a goal kick or whether it's from open play. Raphael Schiffel, along with his defensive partner Jesper Verlat, has been solid as a rock. Munich haven't really been in any trouble. A couple of long-range efforts, some crosses which haven't reached their man from Ingolstadt, and a few offsides, but there's been nothing to trouble goalkeeper Marius Funk. Beg your pardon, René Volath. Marius Funk's made a couple of saves and let one in. Chance for one final push for Ingolstadt or Munich to change this scoreline, but as they have that lead, I don't think we're going to see Thore Jakobsen do too much in terms of pushing forward. 2 minutes left of time added on, at least 2 minutes of time added on. People often get confused by the time added on at the end of the half and at the end of the match. They say, oh, how come you played one more minute that was on the screen? Well, of course, it's at least 2 minutes of play, but anything could happen between now and the 47th minute. A chance here inside the area for Munich comes to nothing, and Fabian Schubert wasn't quite on the ball enough to be able to turn quickly and regain possession in what would have been a tremendously dangerous area. As we come to halfway through the first minute of 2 of time added on at the end of this first half. A very niggly game in places. Ingolstadt started the stronger, but weren't able to convert anything. And that means that coming into half-time, it is currently 1-0 to 1860, München, 1860 Munich. Unless one of these two teams can make a difference at the end. This is a promising attack. Was that a handball? Was that a handball? Inside the area, referee Felix Bickel says no. His arm was in a natural position. That was Ryan Malone, I think. No, it was Max Plath who was in a defensive position. Let's have another look at it. Yeah, there's nothing unnatural about that position, even if it did strike his hand. And the distance between the foot and the hand was so short that that was never going to get given. Here comes Wolfram, the goal scorer. Doesn't launch it in this time because he's perfectly happy to go to half-time. A long-range effort just over the bar. The crowd thought it might be closer than it actually was, but I would say that man on your screen has had a decent first half. Schiffel. A curling effort. It was over, but it was a good way to use up a few precious seconds. And Marius Funk will pump the ball downfield, hoping against hope that Ingolstadt can get something out of these last 10, 15, 20 seconds of time added on at the first half, but it doesn't look like it. It's half time then, and we didn't even reach those 2 minutes. 1860 Munich going 1-0 up, thanks to that man on your screen right now, Max Wolfram, in the 5th minute of the game. It is half time, and we'll be back in 15 minutes at the Audi Sport Park. It's 1-0 to 1860 München, who at the moment are on their way to the first points of their 2024-2025 season in this Dritte Liga. Welcome back everyone to the Audi Sport Park in Bavaria, and welcome back to Dritte Liga football for its 17th season. We are looking at, before today, the 5th placed against the bottom team. It's Ingolstadt at home against 1860 Munich. They were bottom before today, but if the scores stay as they currently are, Munich will be moving up into 18th place on 3 points. They will be getting their first points of the season. They currently lead Ingolstadt by 1-0 thanks to Max Wolfram, who scored in the 5th minute of the game. Second half is nearly ready to go. Referee Felix Bickel is welcoming the players back onto the pitch, and Sabrina Wittmann had a job to do at half-time, because this lot you can see on your screen right now, led by their captain with his blonde, enormous flowing locks, making him instantly recognisable, Jesper Verlat. He and his players, with Max Wolfram giving a real motivational speech before the beginning of that second half, have been on top. There's no doubt about that. And at the moment, we're looking at Ingolstadt dropping down to 7th place, because if I tell you what's been going on in the other games in this league, it is Aue who are losing at Aachen at the moment. They haven't started the second half, but at the moment it's Aue who are losing their 100% record. Bielefeld and Sandhausen 0-0 at half-time. Dresden are 1-0 up against Stuttgart reserves, and Saarbrücken have taken the lead against Mannheim, who will be going bottom of the table as things stand. We have 45 minutes of football left here in this game, and we're looking at Munich, who have been fired up all game. There have been a lot of fouls. That's a nice bit of footwork down the right wing from Tunay Deniz. Into the box and taken easily by Marius Funk of Ingolstadt. Interestingly, these two teams do have two of the top-ranked goalkeepers in the division. Marius Funk is second in terms of ratings this season, but René Volath, who's in goal for Munich, is top of the charts for accurate passes for a goalkeeper, top of the charts pretty much for interceptions as well. Ingolstadt have had a lot to thank Marius Funk for. He's made 6 saves per game, second only to Marcel Jonen of Alemannia Aachen. Aachen leading Erzgebirge Aue by a 1-0 in this same division. A foul early on. 2 fouls in that little build-up there, I would suggest. The first one, probably a 50-50. The second one has been given by Felix Bickel, the referee, to Munich. So it is Munich through Raphael Schiffer who are able to start another attack. Schiffer on the left wing, just slightly over the head of Leroy Kvadvo, the left back. And Kvadvo has spent quite a bit of time on the floor, actually. I didn't think Giris Giannikis was going to be able to sit down for very long. He's not known as someone who can sit down and watch. Sabrina Wittmann, on the other hand, altogether more calm. But her Ingolstadt side have started the second half in the same way that they started the first half. Well, that while they're up. Kvadvo. Now, we've seen a yellow card there as well, and that could have been to Sabrina Wittmann for the way she spoke to the assistant referee on the sidelines. Let's just have a confirmation of that in a moment. I don't think any of the players did anything worthy of a yellow card. Ingolstadt then began the first half pretty strongly, but could make very little of it. There is the case of water bottles on which Sabrina Wittmann has been sitting. It'd be more fun if she were standing on it, but she wasn't. She was sitting on it. Not there now, though. Down the line from Max Wolfram, goal scorer and possessor of that enormous throw-in. Nothing for Munich to worry about from that attack, but there is an attacking throw-in now on the right-hand side for Ingolstadt, which will be taken by Marcel Kostli. The big flaw for Ingolstadt in that first half, continually they went backwards or sideways. There was attacking intent, but there was no penetration. This second half they will be looking to turn those attacks into something meaningful. Appeals for a penalty, waved away by Felix Bickel, but a cross comes in nonetheless. There's nobody there at the far post, and Marcel Kostli will attempt to keep the ball in, which he does brilliantly, and can get it back across with his left foot. There's a chance, is there not quite? Sebastian Gröning, top scorer for Ingolstadt, was there on the far post, but Kostli's cross was slightly over his head. Goal kick then, and it's René Volath, who, if the first half is anything to go by, will be going long right to left, but he doesn't. He goes short this time. And the captain, Verlat, is there to tidy up and calm things down. Jakobsen, bypassing his captain, and they go back out to the right with Kvavro. Helping out is Max Wolfram. He's been everywhere, Wolfram, taking the throw-in, scoring the goals, helping out at the back as well. Ostensibly an attacking player, but with some real defensive capabilities as well. Ingolstadt once again starting deep in their own half and attempting to bring the ball forward. The incisive passing has been lacking, but David Kopacz is looking to change that, as is Ryan Malone, the American central defender, with his socks rolled down in that old school way. That was a nice idea from Ingolstadt as they attempt to take the ball down the wings and then bypass defenders with inbound passes. That one came to nothing, but some encouragement at least for Sabrina Wittmann. René Volath with the goal kick. And he's going right to left. That's going straight out, is it? No, it's good, in fact. Decent goal, free kick straight to Wolfram, who puts in a lot of yards. Despite having lost their first 3 games, Munich have actually run the most kilometres in the division in those 3 games, over 130 odd kilometres as a whole team in their last match. And it's been a tricky start to the season for them, there's no doubt about that. They started off against the league leaders. Sorry, the last game was against the league leaders at Victoria Collen, and they lost 3-1. They also lost 3-1 away to Stuttgart reserves. And Saarbrücken beat them on the first match day of the season at home. So 2 losses they've had at home and 1 away. This is their second away game of the season, and at the moment they are leading by a single Max Wolfram goal to nil. And here they come again down the right-hand side. Oh, that was wonderful skills from both players down the right. He's going to be offside. Flag goes straight up. And Schubert knew that he was offside, so didn't make the run. The big mistake there, not only from Schubert having gone too early, but also from his teammate Frey, who should really have known that that wasn't going to be allowed. Up we go then for Ingolstadt now. This game has started nice and end-to-end in this second half, and as we approach 10 minutes gone, another offside for Schubert. Again, he knew it full well, didn't celebrate. Worth seeing that again, though, to see whether or not Schubert could have done slightly better. Let's see. No, it came to him off a ricochet. And he thought he'd just have the fun. The fans that are bouncing, the fans that are singing are still the Munich fans. Some of the most loyal and devoted fans at this level of German football. But Munich have some work to do here to clear the danger. The captain does so and calms everything down again, as he has done for the match so far. Jesper Verlat. He is on a yellow card, as are two of his teammates, David Philipp and Marlon Frey. No yellow cards so far for Ingolstadt. Another long-range effort. Same sort of angle that Wolfram scored from in the first half, but on that occasion, Mark Nicholas Düring wasn't able to achieve the same results. First substitutions. And we wondered whether Sabrina Wittmann would wait or whether she would make an early move. It's the number 7, Denis Bukovski, who comes off after 54 minutes. And his replacement will be looking very much to make a difference in this second half. Pascal Testruet is the man who came on. With 35 minutes left. 35 minutes for Ingolstadt to get an equaliser, possibly even a winner. But as time goes on, Munich's confidence in being able to hold their lines will increase. Ingolstadt, though, much more penetrative this first half, and another good clearance from that excellent central defensive partnership for Munich. That was Raphael Schiffel that time. Number 24 on your screen. And he and the captain next to him have been impenetrable in the centre of that defence for Munich. And now here they come forward. An excellent ball and a good run, but there's no one there to support him. Running up alongside is David Philipp. But in the end, there was nowhere for Fabian Schubert to go. A little bit more patience, and he might have been able to hold the ball up for Philipp to come alongside him. There seems to be a slight lack of peripheral vision for both of these sides in terms of their attacks. Sometimes there are players who are there and they're just not seeing them. Sometimes they're not realising the offside has already been broken. But Ingolstadt attack once again comes to nothing, and Munich have an opportunity. That's a dreadful, dreadful pass. Ingolstadt with the opportunity now then, and here could be a chance on the edge of the area. Here we go. This is the chance for the equaliser. Brilliant save by Borat. Oh, and it's awful. It's absolutely awful. That is a dreadful, dreadful attempt from David Kopacz. Two brilliant chances for Ingolstadt to take a goal and to make it 1-1. Unable to do so. And those are glaring, glaring misses, and those will be watched again and again, I'm sure, by Sabrina Wittmann and her team. We're going to have a double substitution for Munich. The goal scorer, Max Wolfram, looks like he's coming off, and Fabian Schubert, who's had a torrid time as well, actually, is coming off. 58 minutes or so gone. Number 34, Patrick Hobsch, is coming on for Fabian Schubert. Let's have a look at those chances again then. I mean, Kanaric gets himself into a brilliant position. It's a good save. It's gone much too close to the goalkeeper, of course. It's a good save, though, by René Volath. But really, that follow-up here, that should be put away without any trouble at all, and it wasn't. David Kopacz will be kicking himself about that. The other man who came off in that little raft of substitutions. Well, maybe we only saw one, in fact. It looked like there were going to be two, didn't it? But Fabian Schubert came off and Patrick Hobbs, number 34, came on. Kwadwo has had an eventful game on the left side of defence for Munich, as has Marcel Kosli, his counterpart at right back for Ingolstadt, who have another attacking opportunity now with a corner, and they're covering the edge of the box for the second ball as Volath takes control. Schiffel and Verlat commanding in defence. Benjamin Kanaric, who possibly should have done better a few moments ago from inside the 6-yard box. He did all the hard work, taking the ball inside with his right and making space for himself on the left. He outswings the corner, and who's there again? It's Raphael Schiffel. The danger is cleared for the moment, but the second ball is won by Ingolstadt, and I was right the first time. David Philipp has come off. Julian Guttau, is on the number 7. So a double substitution for Munich means that their lineup currently looks like this. René Volath in goal, Lucas Reich at right back, Jesper Verlat, the captain, alongside Raphael Schiffel in central defence, and Leroy Kwadwo is at left back. Tunay Deniz, Dore Jakobsen and Marion Frey remain in midfield. They were starters, and David Philipp has come off and been replaced by Julian Guttau. Max Wolfram is still on. Fabian Schubert up front as well, who had a difficult 58 minutes of this game, has been replaced by Patrick Hobbs. For the hosts, Marius Funk is still in goal. Marcel Kosli, Ryan Malone, Mladen Vjetinovic and Mark Nicholas During are at the back. David Kopas, Lucas Froda, Max Plath and Benjamin Kanaric in midfield. Sebastian Gröning up front, and Denis Borkowski, who started the game, has been replaced by Pascal Testeret, which means that Testeret is up there with the Dane Gröning for the second half. Losing control down the right wing is the substitute Julian Guttau for Munich. Attacking intention for sure, attacking prowess lacking. The Munich player furthest to the right on your screen there is Raphael Schiffel, who at the moment would be taking my man of the match vote, as we see the Munich fans in full voice, understandably. They haven't had much to sing about so far this season, but they are loyal fans, and they are some of the most vociferous fans in Dritte Liga. Ingolstadt coming forward. Great defending, super defending from Munich, from Thore Jakobsen coming back from midfield. And now an excellent opportunity for them to go forward, but Marius Funk is full of soul and protects his goal, no problem at all on that occasion. But it could have been a danger, that particular ball. It was a nice incisive pass, a good idea. The weight on it was slightly off, not by much. Munich fans and players, as well as the coaches, will be encouraged by what they're trying to do. Ingolstadt, on the other hand, the fans are quiet. Sabrina Wittmann doesn't seem to have been able to change anything too much yet, and the players equally haven't been able to make a difference as yet. 63 minutes gone, it's still 1-0 to Munich, and here come Ingolstadt, but Verlat is there, and Munich have an opportunity again to come forward. Felix Bickel is waving away or ignoring those pleas for a foul. But it was 2-on-4 in Ingolstadt's favour, with Munich coming forward. Now it's a little bit more even. Now this could get interesting. A little pass. It's 2-0! It's 2-0 to 1860 Munich. And that is a really, really well-worked goal, as the celebrations come from René Volath, and a yellow card for Marius Funk as well. He is very, very unhappy indeed. Funk takes a yellow card, but the key here was a left-wing move all the way down towards the Ingolstadt goal, and there was nothing they could do about it. And despite his calm demeanour, Argyris Giannikis must be absolutely delighted. That was a fabulous goal from 1860 München, and it makes it 2-0. And this time it was Julian Guttau, the substitute, who scores. What a substitution, what an inspiration that was. Guttau came down, his first touch and his first attack was not a good one at all. Here we go, let's see a replay of this then. It's Guttau actually who continues the move. It was Wolfram, the first goal scorer, who gets the assist for the second. It's a good finish as well. The goalkeeper will probably feel like he should have done better, but he came out, made himself big, and Max Wolfram has a goal and an assist. It's 2-0 to Munich, bottom of the table Munich. They will not be bottom of the table tonight if this carries on. They'll be up into 18th place and almost out of those relegation positions. Super goal, doubles the lead for 1860 München, and Ingolstadt are in trouble. Sabrina Wittmann didn't look like she knew what she could do. Frustration on the face of the first female coach in the top 3 tiers of German football. And the fans inside the Audi Sport Park are making their feelings known. So a goal after 5 minutes in the first half and a goal after 20 minutes in the second half as they come forward again. It's another chance, is it? Wow. That probably should have been 3-0. Tunai Denitz looks to the sky, and it's Guttau again. Yeah, that's a really, really good chance, isn't it, for Dennis? Costly eventually clears it away for the corner, but that should be 3-0 to Munich. And Julian Guttau is having a really, really big impression, making a really big impression on this game. Super stuff from Munich. Another save had to be made by Marius Funk as well. This time it was from another substitute, Patrick Hobbs. And Funk is not a happy man. He got a yellow card for his complaints to Felix Bickel, the referee, in the build-up to the second goal. And Munich can smell blood. You get a feeling that they feel they can get a third right now, as they should have done just now. Big throw-in coming in. It's cleared away, and it's a corner. It's a real danger, that throw from Max Wolfram. A real danger. This gives them something else to think about, the Ingolstadt defenders, as the Munich defenders themselves come up. Big mop of blonde hair of Jasper Verlat, the captain. He'll be fancying this. The corner, the short corner option has been removed. In we come with an in-swinging right footer. Comes to nothing. Kvadvo will run back to his left-back position. And Felix Bickel says it's a drinks break. Let's have a look again at that second goal. Guttau it was. Involved from the very beginning, and an excellent finish from him as well. Marlon Frey to Guttau. Guttau then to Max Wolfram. Wolfram back to Guttau, and Guttau with the left-footed finished past the outstretched arms of a flying Marius Funk. Now what Funk was complaining about, and I think Sabrina Wittmann probably as well, was the fact that there was one of the Ingolstadt players on the floor in the build-up to that goal. Felix Bickel, the referee, had waved play on. He saw no foul. No VAR, of course, in these lower tier matches. Chinai Dennis, that's the foul in the build-up. I think that'll be a 50-50 in terms of people's opinions. From a neutral point of view, I don't think that was a reason to disallow that goal. Felix Bickel, though, will still hear about it from Marius Funk, there's no doubt about that. Drinks break is over. And it's time to carry on. We have 20 minutes left of this game, plus time added on, 21 minutes. Sabrina Wittmann needs to get her thinking head on. And I think she needs to buoy up the boys a bit more. There's absolutely no doubt that Munich are the team here with the wind in their sails. Here we go, here's Dennis. Edge of the area play from Munich. Nice idea from Guttau again, who's making a difference. And Ingolstadt are running out of ideas. They are trying to play some decent football, Ingolstadt, and that was very nearly a super move, actually. David Kopacz just couldn't get onto the end of that final pass in the sequence. But it was a much better idea from Ingolstadt. That was encouraging for Wittmann and her team. The encouraging thing at the moment, though, on the scoreboard is the 2-0 scoreline with Munich ahead. Just take you through the other scores as they stand after we've seen this attack. And here's an opportunity, but it'll be offside. Offside flag went up, much to Sebastian Gröning's unhappiness, but I think when he sees it back he'll be perfectly accepting of the fact that it was offside. Pascal Testrutt. Oh, actually, was it or wasn't it? It may well have been a mistake there, but with no VAR, nothing will get changed. Changes are going to be made for Ingolstadt. Sabrina Wittmann trying to shake things up a little bit. We're seeing number 10, Max Dipken, coming on for David Kopacz. Kopacz has had a slightly disappointing start to this second half, I would say. Missed chances to make it 1-1. Shortly afterwards, Munich made it 2-0. And Kopacz should certainly have done better with the opportunity that he created for himself. Kanaric has also come off, the number 8, and Dennis Zettler is on in that same double substitution. So 3 substitutes made now by Sabrina Wittmann for Ingolstadt. As we see a replay of what Jesper Verlat is claiming was a foul. And a foul that has been given as well. Free kick for Munich as they come forward again. It's down that right-hand side. And in the centre of the park, Dora Jakobsen, who's been a quiet but commanding presence in midfield. It's another overlapping run from Leroy Kvadvo. This time it doesn't come to anything for Munich, but again a misplaced pass for Ingolstadt. And again we can start to build from the back. Munich just keeping the ball in down the left-hand side, but it's coming to nothing. Kvadvo, who's been busy at the very least. Busy in the first half. and busier still in the second half. He's put in a lot of meters running so far. Let me take you through the scores in the other games, and now we have a bit of respite here. Erzgebirge Aue have equalised against Aachen. That changes how the table will look. It means that Aue would go top. Victoria Köln would be on 9 points just behind them. They played last night, of course, beating Hansa Rostock. Ingolstadt with an excellent headed opportunity for the number 38, Dennis Zeitler, who's just come on as a substitute. Elsewhere, 2-0 here to Munich. It's Sandhausen who are winning 1-0 away at Bielefeld. So Sandhausen and Bielefeld. Sandhausen would be in 4th, Bielefeld in 5th if things stayed as they are. Dresden are 2-0 up against Stuttgart, who've had a man sent off. And Saarbrücken remain 1-0 up against Mannheim as Ingolstadt look to come forward again. But that is some good defending on the right-hand side of defence from Lucas Reich. But certainly unhappy is Dennis Zettler, who felt that he was held back rather than committing the foul, actually. The referee, though, feels otherwise, and Relly Volath will once again go right to left with a long clearance from a free kick. Down the right-hand side, which is where Ingolstadt seem to be seeing most of their attacks coming from in this second half. Dicken, the substitute, with the cross. And once again cleared by the captain, Jasper Verlat. It'll be a tough call to say who was man of the match in this game. Verlat and Schiffel in the centre of defence for Munich have been really good. Steadfast, solid, impenetrable. But Wolfram has a goal and an assist, as we see Schiffel once again heading behind and somehow claiming that it wasn't him, even though it seemed to be fairly obvious that it was. Let's have a look at what Ingolstadt can do now as Schiffel receives praise, quite rightly, from his teammates for that clearance. Corner then for Ingolstadt, who need to get something on the board soon, one feels. Kvadvo away. Corner from Marcel Kostli for Ingolstadt. Wasn't too bad. Cleared the first man, made it into the danger area, but nothing came of it. Another substitution. Double substitution, in fact, for Munich. And it's Wolfram who's coming off, as is Marlon Frey. Let's see Wolfram's goal. It's worth seeing that any number of times. Frey and Wolfram off in the 77th minute then. And in terms of Argyris Janikis' thinking, they have done enough. Replacing them for this double substitution for Munich. Coming on is number 39, Elliot Muteba, and number 18, Tim Kloss. Lovely bit of skill from Schiffer there, look at that. Super, he really has had a brilliant game. Schiffer, that pass is almost perfectly weighted, but not quite. Wolfram then replaced by Muteba. Just confirming what we already saw on the screens a few moments ago. Ingolstadt, what are they doing there? And here comes Muteba's first touch. Let's see what he can do with it. His first touch is going to be inside the area as well. He's being held back, surely. That must be a free kick. No, Felix Bigel says no. Kvadvo from the left full-back position. Of course, Wolfram is off now, so they haven't got the danger of that extremely long throw that he has on him. Tim Kloss came on to replace Marlon Frey at the same time that Muteba came on. Muteba has had a touch of the ball. Kloss just having his as well. Muteba is going to play in a role slightly more to the left than Wolfram played, and slightly further back as well. Wolfram does an incredible amount of work, and Muteba probably won't run quite so much. He'll remain a bit further forward. That's the substitute for Ingolstadt. Who's had a real effect on the game. Dennis Zeitler. Munich, though, are being nice and patient. And they don't need to push anything now. 2-0 would be a very decent scoreline indeed for them after their first 3 games of the season all ended in defeat. They will be, at the moment, pushing themselves up to 18th place in the league as things stand. Before today, Victoria Colon were top of the league, having played 4 games, even though they lost to Dynamo Dresden on the first day. They beat Mannheim, Munich and Hansa Rostock, meaning that they were on 9 points. But as things stand at the moment, it's Erzgebirge Aue who will be on 10 points after having played 4. Colon will be in second if things stay as they are, and Dynamo Dresden will be in third, also on 9, as would Sandhausen be, because Sandhausen are currently 1-0 up against Bielefeld. Sabrina Mittman is not the most vocal of coaches on the sideline, but she did have such a good effect last year as Ingolstadt again attempt a cross from the right, which comes to nothing, having slightly missed the head of their man in the box. We have 9 and a bit minutes left, plus time added on for Ingolstadt to get something out of this game. And one man who will do his very best to stop that from happening is the captain for Munich, Jesper Verlat. Corner for Ingolstadt. Got to get something soon, one senses. And that was a good opportunity for them to do so. But just unable to get his head over the ball was Lucas Fröder. Ryan Malone, the American, hasn't had a bad game. He hasn't really been in the game an enormous amount. In fact, there aren't, apart from Marius Funk, there aren't many of the Ingolstadt players who we've mentioned repeatedly in terms of having a significant effect on the game. Sabrina Wittmann really frustrated there. And of course, as an ex-player, there's just nothing more frustrating than thinking you can make a difference. Here's a chance, though. Another one bites the dust. Pascal Testeret, that's his second opportunity of the game since coming on after 55 minutes. And he's actually made more of a difference in those 27 minutes that he's been on the pitch than most of the other Ingolstadt players had made in almost the entire game. So maybe they should be looking to Testeret and Zeitler, who's also had a real impact since coming on. Those substitutions made early and midway through the second half. But Testeret and Zeitler have been the 2 Ingolstadt players who look most like enlightening this game for Ingolstadt. That man, René Volath, will just look to calm everything down. Decent enough take for him, not too taxing. 7 minutes left. 1860 Munich 2, Ingolstadt 0 in Bavaria at the Audi Sport Park. The fans of the home team, Ingolstadt, have started to leave the stadium. Never understand why fans do that. So much can happen in 7 minutes of normal time and time added on. Let's see what Sabrina Wittmann has up her sleeve for these last few minutes. That was a good take by René Volath. A take you'd expect him to make, but still, kept hold of the ball, kept it safe, despite being bumped from both sides by opponents and teammates. Volaf getting us into the closing stage of this game. A long clearance, and it comes back to him. And he's in no hurry at all. This is a real pep up, this performance for Munich. Janikis has said all along that he's not worried about the team's performances. Nearly 3-0. Good opportunity in the middle of the goal, with only the keeper to beat for Patrick Hobbs, the substitute. Wasn't able to put it either side of the keeper, Marius Funk, for Ingolstadt, though. Anywhere other than there, as they say, would have resulted in a goal. Here we go, coming forward. We've got players in the box for Ingolstadt, and that is a penalty. That is a penalty awarded by Felix Black for holding and pulling back. Let's see a replay of that. We have a penalty at the Audi Sports Park, and Felix Bickel won't hear anything of it, anything against it. Verlat protests, Schiffel protests, but that is not going to get overturned. Well, could this be? Let's have a look. I mean, down goes Pascal Testruit. Yeah, he's got a fistful of shirt there, Schiffel, hasn't he? It's fairly innocuous, but that is a foul. By the letter of the law, that is a foul, and that is a penalty. And you'll come back and say, well, anywhere else on the pitch it wouldn't be given, and we've seen one, in fact, just a few minutes ago that wasn't given elsewhere on the pitch. But in the penalty box, you have to be so much more careful. So, with 4.5 minutes of normal time remaining, the substitute, Pascal Testruit, has the opportunity to get one back for Ingolstadt, which he does. His second goal of the campaign, making him joint top scorer for Ingolstadt with Sebastian Gröning, who is still on the pitch as well. It is 1-2. It is 1 to the home side, 2 to the away side. And this is going to make for a very interesting last 4 minutes of normal time indeed. Pascal Testruit has scored the penalty, which makes it 2-1. And now the crowds are beginning to be a bit more vocal, as is the stadium announcer. It's another substitution for Munich. Coming off, number 36, Tunay Dents, who has had a slightly frustrating afternoon. He's had some opportunities. It could even have been offside, couldn't it? I think in the land of VAR, that would probably have been overturned, that penalty, but we'll never know. Testruit, nonetheless, a good penalty right in the corner. As we saw, Tunay Dents come off and being replaced by Max Reintaler. Not long to go for Ingolstadt to get an equaliser. And now they have the wind in their sails and they are looking to go forward. And there's a bit of nerves now amongst the defence and the Munich players. But there are some skills there on show still. I think they have the confidence to take this all the way through. Through to 90 minutes and through to 3 points. But if they lose the ball in key areas, they will simply put themselves in danger that they don't need. That was Guttau, the goal scorer for the second goal from Munich, who gave away that foul. And the Munich fans have started to quieten down a little bit. 2-1 with 2 and a bit minutes left is a nervy situation to be in. Guttau giving away a foul and giving away possession, more crucially. It's not in a dangerous position, the free kick, but it is a dangerous possession. 2 minutes of normal time left, and Ingolstadt have to push, but not too hard. It only takes a second to score a goal, and they only need 1 to get a point. If they were to get a goal before the end of normal time, that would really make things interesting. Here they come again. Lovely running from the left flank. In the end, though, Dennis Zettler wasn't able to test Rene Volath particularly. It'll count as a save, as it was on target, I think. But it certainly wasn't a test. 3 goals so far in this game. It's been a good game as well, a scrappy one, especially in the first half. A lot of fouls and quite a few yellow cards in the first half as well. Erzgebirge Aue have taken the lead against Aachen. They were 1-0 down and they are now 2-1 up. So, as things stand, Aue will go clear at the top of the Dritte Liga and they'll go top by 3 points. Played for 12 points with a goal difference of +6 as things stand. Great work from Aue, who both their goals, in fact, have come from Bar in the 58th and the 84th minutes. So having been 1-0 down, they are leading 2-1. Handball from the attacking player Gröning, Sebastian Gröning for Ingolstadt. He's not happy about it. Nonetheless, as we enter the final seconds of normal time, yeah, I mean, that's an obvious handball. Why he's complaining, I don't know. 5 minutes at least of time added on. That is plenty of time as you hear the Ingolstadt supporters buoyed by the attacking prowess and the attacking intentions now of their team. And Munich are a bit rattled. A little bit rattled are Munich. Tim Kloss there, the substitute, struggling to keep control of the ball and of his opponent. But that, unfortunately, from Dennis Zettler, was a needless waste of possession. What can Ingolstadt do in these last 5 minutes then? Coming up to the final whistle. And Sabrina Wittmann needs to think of something and think of something quickly. She does still have substitutes left that she can make if she wants to. But it's late in the game with 4 minutes left of time added on. And that was a less than convincing passage of play from Elliot Muteba on the left-hand side for 1860 Munich. He hasn't impressed that much, if I'm to be brutally honest, since he came on in the 77th minute. Elliot Muteba, the number 39 down there, who replaced the goal scorer and assister Max Wolfram, who will probably get most people's vote for man of the match. 1 minute 30 gone, out of 5 added on. It is still 2-1 to 1860 Munich, but Ingolstadt with the last goal of the game so far through that penalty from Pascal de Stroit. Mentally, it's an interesting stage of the game for both sets of players. Munich will be looking to sit back and protect a lead, but that in itself holds a danger. Alternatively, they could do what Kvadvo has just done and boot the ball away. If in doubt, kick it out. Of course, that hands possession back to Ingolstadt, who can then build again, but it does waste some time. Ingolstadt, from their point of view, mentally, they know time is running out, so they may take some unnecessary risks. That was a decent cross, though. Gröning has been at the heart of the action for Ingolstadt in the first half, but that man who just put that cross in, Pascal de Stroit, the goal scorer, is the one who's made a difference in the second half. 2 and a bit minutes left now for them. And another substitute, Felix Keidel, goes down trying to get a foul. Felix Bickel not falling for it. So RP gets now Muteba draws a foul from Keitel, and that, I think, was Keidel's frustration and not getting a foul given for what had just happened. He then went and took it out on Elliot Muteba, And this is, at this stage of the game, a very, very silly, impetuous thing to do. Excuse me. With less than 2 minutes left on the clock, of time added on, you're losing the game. To give away possession and a free kick in that situation, Sabrina Wittmann will be livid. I'm absolutely sure. 5th place before the start of this game, Ingolstadt. A cracking start to the season. But Munich, from the very start of this match, have been up for it. They've been motivated. They've been buoyed. They had an early goal through Max Wolfram after just 5 minutes. They then got the second 20 minutes, 19 minutes into the second half. And it's that man Guttau who scored it and was involved in the build-up. He, Justin Guttau, made a huge difference. Julian Guttau made a huge difference when he came on and is continuing to do so. Keeping the ball in the corner there and giving Ingolstadt just 30 seconds of time remaining to try and get an equaliser. I think it's safe to say that Ingolstadt will not be winning today's game. They're still losing at the moment, but there is one final opportunity. Here's Destroy. He's the goal scorer from the penalty spot. He's the man who made it 1-2, but he can't do anything worthwhile with that last little action of his game, and he comes with Tabor, but he's not going to get on the end of that. The ball will go back to Marius Funk, and I think the referee will blow his whistle, and we'll be looking at a 2-1 victory for 1860 Munich away at the Audi Sport Park in Bavaria. Ingolstadt lose, and 1860 München get their first win of the season. Joy for Agiris Janikis and for his coaching staff. The players, though, take the credit, of course. The fans have played their part as well. They have enjoyed this afternoon. They've been vociferous and noisy. You've heard them and felt them the whole time since kickoff a couple of hours ago. This has been an afternoon where Munich get back on track and when Ingolstadt fell slightly flat. That man, the captain, Jesper Verlat, was crucial, as was Max Wolfram, scoring the first goal and setting up the second for Julian Guttau. It's been a good afternoon for Guttau and for 1860 München. Ingolstadt will go home this evening knowing that they could and should have done better.